for a place to drink. I'm here with Marcio-Andre, the Brazilian poet, Daniel Lowe, the journalist, Lauren Lukasiewicz, the stylist, and it's been great. It's been a really good evening. I haven't counted what the idea is of money, so we'll divide it by 4. 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter.
I see a boat, man, don't worry about it.
No, you come down.
Cool, man. Yeah. Hey, well done, dude.
Fat boy bought a yellow balloon and blew, 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 blew it up huge. Fat boy blew, 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 blew. The balloon grew and grew. Then, boom! Skinny boys picked up the pieces and made little balloons.
Cycling geologist. It's in 3 parts. Excursion 1, the Gypsy Road. Poland first, and the minerals of Mislin ice. Then across the alluvial plains and up through the Tatra mountains. Grenville and a 3-wheeled Humber beasted. Gerald Butler in the crow's nest, the old penny farthing, keeping a fair speed cutting through limestone, a curious couple, unused to the heat, unused to the local usage of language, when to speak German and when to speak English, and when either would see a slammed door. With the help of strong thighs they entered the Alps, cooled tired muscles in the river at Garum, stopped off to see the mines at Hajnik, at shop for stolen ran fingers across the silver, 2 Slovakian boys holding the lanterns, beaming at payment, then the cone at Schlandenberg, and the burning coals near Dux, Oligocene, Miocene, burning, still and always burning. How he found the time to note the sediments, scribble down his verses on volcanoes, collect and store the fragments for his students. 1,050 miles and 38 days, Krakow to Koblenz, the legs turning, the tinkle of stones in the spokes, the odd whir of wheels, startling horses. You can never imagine a grimace, but it must have been there. Instead, there is only the thought of him smiling, freewheeling past olive groves, leaning back his sun-hatted head and shouting to Butler and the gods. It is wonderful what amount of rock has to be cut away before you can make a decently artistic mountain. Excursion 2, as we ride. It had been her idea to cycle down the aisle, and Granville, still so much her tutor, had agreed. It was like they'd cycled from the church and never stopped. Honeymoon turned lifelong expedition. France, Germany, Poland and the Balkans, and Ireland too, her homeland and his home. What he made of rocks, she made of people. Cold and brittle, overwhelming, or uniquely interesting, made with a sort of edge that will take 3 years to understand. Such times to stop not known on their itinerary. Sometimes they grew tired. There is a photograph of her, circa 1900, sheltering beneath a tree, her head resting in her hands, fed up, watching her husband pull off his boot, their bikes stacked on the verge. But she fell in love with Orahova, and so did he, the small town deep between ice mountains, the name they chose for their home in Carrick Mines. Excursion 3, Ireland student trip, 1903. Dalradian, Silurian, Carboniferous. It was an unknown language for the West, a queer way to talk of Mayo, the grisly bogs of Galway. The boys made notes studiously, and one stopped to snap the teacher's roaster beneath Croagh-Patrick, or maybe he snapped it himself, the tool of the new evangelism, funded by the state, peddling talk of millions east through Oma, undersleeve galleon to the Antrim Plateau, Mysic, Tertiary, Cretaceous. They routed around Uncle Route for salts from the Triassic, then belted down to Belfast to chip off Basel from Cave Hill, and then the last day, up at the crack of dawn, they skeeled sleeve donnered, watched the light moving barren and brown across the moorns. Oh, for a last free wheel, he thought, his legs beginning to seize, his hands locked tight on the bars, the funding stopped. Oh, for another 100 million years of cycling, a zip down mountains with the wind moaning softly in the pass.
O nome é a parte financiável da defesa do ar. O nome é a parte que lhes cabe da leveza do ar.